America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter trusted pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Just a few days to go until a possible government shutdown. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries today hitting back on threats from the Trump administration that if the shutdown occurs, it'll prompt mass firings, not just temporary furloughs.
We will not be intimidated by these threats coming from the most extreme parts of the Trump administration.
President Trump canceled a scheduled meeting with Democratic lawmakers on the funding earlier this week. Former French President Nicolas Sarkozy has headed to prison after he was found guilty in an international bribery scheme. ABC's Ines de la Catira has more.
This case revolves around his time as Interior Minister back in 2005. Prosecutors say that he essentially struck a deal with Libyan officials offering up diplomatic favors in exchange for campaign finances. The court says that it couldn't actually find that any of those finances made it into Sarkozy's accounts, but they say that doesn't matter, that it's the intent that matters here.
In Florida, 2 men and their dogs were killed in an apparent lightning strike this week, say authorities. The men traveled from the Miami area with the dogs for a hunting trip when they were found dead along a trail in Highlands County Wednesday. Amazon will pay a record-setting $2.5 billion in a newly announced settlement agreement with the FTC over allegations that the company duped millions of users to sign up for its Prime program and then made it difficult to cancel. I'm Dave Packer, ABC News.
Surprise! Your table saw broke. Also, the warranty expired weeks ago, so you need to pay for anyone out of pocket.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Oh, and the replacement part you ordered doesn't fit, so it's completely useless. What a waste.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This is State Farm Agent John Wright. I'm a multiple-time winner of the Reader's Choice for one of the best insurance agents in the area. When you make the right decision, it feels good, like picking the perfect gift for your special someone. It feels real good to make the right insurance decision, too. The John Wright Insurance Agency is right here in Joliet to help you select the right protection at the right price. With me, State Farm Agent John Wright, it's easy to make the right choice. Just call me when you want the real deal. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Get organized with new Dakota Closets storage solutions at Menards. Dakota Closets are versatile and can be installed in any room, from home offices and laundry rooms to walk-in or reach-in closets and so much more. Use the You Create Closet Planner available in-store or online to design a closet system that maximizes your space and matches your style. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter? Right? And the best part? They accept Discover. Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer. Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times. Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants? These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide, based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
I'm Matt Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Your car steering wheel could be a ticking time bomb. At least 24 people have died and many more injured because their airbags fired shrapnel at them upon inflating. Tens of millions of cars have been recalled. If you suffered cuts that required stitches, hearing or vision loss, or broken bones, please contact us today. You could be owed money for medical bills and other damages.
Morgan & Morgan. Visit us at badairbags.com for an office near you. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Here we go. It's time for Pigskin Preview. Coaches, players, fans, and experts. You get them all right here on Pigskin Preview. Powered by State Farm agents John Wright and Drew Mormon.
Good evening. Welcome to the Week 5 edition. That's okay. We were close. Welcome, everyone, to the Week 5 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. EDGYTIM, along with the Coach Joe Roddigero and Evan Bredesen, welcome aboard. We'll be with you for the next 2 hours or so, talking live IHSA football, guys, all night. And we got a lot to cover. And again, we would like to thank our sponsors, our tremendous sponsors, State Farm agents John Wright in Joliet and Drew Mormon in Lamont. Like a good neighbor, Joe?
State Farm is there.
Our broadcast schedule this weekend is as follows. Friday, 6:05, Friday Night Lights with the one, the only, Evan Bredesen. 7 o'clock kickoff, Joliet West at Romeoville. That's 3-1 Romeoville, Joe Roddigero.
Yes, big game.
Coach Joe, Dewey. Who else is with you?
Daniel.
Cast a Thousand. Daniel.
Cast a Thousand.
They'll be bringing you a game that is live, 7 o'clock right here on 1340 and 1340 WJOL. Joe?
Sir.
The Week 5 WJOL EDGYTIM.com Big 5 poll is as follows.
I don't have that, Edge.
Well, I do, Joe.
Well, you give it then.
You should have gotten the revised.
Oh, the
should have been passed to you.
Oh, the revised edition.
That's okay. Well, you haven't been doing this for a while. Here's the Big 5. Not that any of you care, but it makes me feel better reading it out. Number 1, Lincoln Way East. They are 4-0. Continue to be ranked number 1 in the area. Followed by Lincoln Way West, Lincoln Way Central, Providence Catholic, and Morris. So no change in the Big 5 despite the Lincoln Way Central loss to West.
And the Big 5 takes no vacations.
No. The Big 5 takes no vacations. The edgy top 10 AP poll, basically, the top 10, we don't take vacations. AP takes vacations.
It's football season. How can you take a vacation?
I was told no AP polls this week because the guy is on vacation.
One guy does.
One guy. Okay?
One guy.
One guy on vacation. I couldn't make this stuff up if I tried. So the guy is on vacation, so there's no AP polls this week. So
hopefully he's enjoying himself.
I hope he is. Good for him. Good for him.
Yes.
Anyone else around here taking vacation during the football season? Nah, we won't get into that. We'll let that go. 815-254-7300. Would love to hear from you. Took the phones off the hold. They're on. They're open. Love to hear from you. We've got a little bit of free time here. Joe?
Yes, sir.
We took in a tremendous game last Friday. Unbelievable atmosphere out of Lincoln Way West as the Warriors came away 17-12 win over Lincoln Way Central. Joe, just a lot of fun.
Yep.
Great camaraderie, great sportsmanship, and a really good game. Couldn't ask for much more.
No, it was a great game. We saw just about everything. We saw a 52-yard field goal by Mr. Zach Hermanson in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
I
was right there. He had about 6-7 yards to clear.
And I was kind of surprised after I saw you after the game. You said that because it looked like a kick. That was unbelievable.
Well, he talked to the press after the game and talked about he had some injury issues, and really didn't start kicking until the beginning of the year. Didn't really do much kicking at all over the summer because he was healing from an injury. But it's a live leg.
It's
a very live leg. Someone will definitely take a gander or two at him. So, I was impressed, Joe, and you and I talked about it. Kind of what we thought going in.
Yes. Overall, a defensive battle.
Right. Well, they know each other really well.
Right.
They run kind of a similar offense. I think philosophically it's similar.
Yes.
They both want to run the ball. They're both capable of play-action pass. I thought Ernie called a really good game.
Yes.
On offense for West.
Yes.
West, I thought, did some things that were really good. Some really good things.
Yeah, I was impressed with the quarterback, Grant Tustin.
Yeah. Bigger kid. Definitely seems like probably getting more and more comfortable. Made some big throws. Again, he threw up maybe about, 11, 12 times?
11 for 12 for 90, and he actually rushed for 88, so that was 178.
Yeah, so again, everything you need out of your quarterback in a situation like that. I think Central definitely misses Luke Tingley.
Oh, without a doubt.
I don't think there's any question. Luke was I got a chance to sit and talk with him and his mom for a while and stuff, and he's doing great. But, just a really, really good game. And I thought the difference would be, and I kind of thought they had a big game. Abubakar.
Yep.
I thought Jahan had a really nice game, and then Chase Markowitz as well. Just a really big-time player.
Yes.
Both ways, and I think they're both pretty good teams. I think it's going to come down to those two and Bradley. My guess is they'll probably split. Bradley will beat one of them and lose to one of them.
Yep. But they both have Bradley at home.
Yes.
I saw that.
Yes. So it's going to be it's a good year in the conference, and I'm really interested to see how they do in 7A.
Yes.
I might have a pretty good idea, a little bit better idea tomorrow night about 7A. We'll get into where I'm going in a little bit, but had a really, really good had a good experience out at West for sure. So thanks to everyone. Tremendous.
Yes.
Parking lot, that's an interesting get out of. But,
I think the game, my ride home was longer than the game, and I live 8 to 10 minutes away.
Well, you have first for security, and golf carts and helicopters and stuff.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people I knew on Friday night.
You did. 815-254-7300. Open up the phone lines. It's our guy, the other Bob. The other Bob beat Bob calling in.
Are you kidding me?
How about that?
Oh, wow.
Hello, other Bob.
Hello, fellas. How you doing?
Doing well, sir.
Good,
How
Bob.
are you?
Good, good. Hey, my Hilltoppers finally won a game, so I feel safe calling in.
They did. By the way, you're always welcome. This is a Hilltopper welcome zone.
Yes.
Win or lose. Yes, he did win, and by the way, he's going to be on in about 15 minutes. So
Great. Hey, I wanted to point something out. I don't know if you guys realize this or not.
AP was on vacation. There's no polls. Oh, sorry. Not that?
Something kind of cool JCA did this year. In celebration of the first foot state championship 50 years ago, not only are they having a celebration and welcoming back the 75 team next week, but all year the kids are wearing throwback jerseys with the special patch commemorating the 50 years ago.
That's great. That is neat.
I hadn't seen anything on the site, Edgy, and didn't know if you guys realized it.
Nope.
But I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Well, for sure.
So what?
And supposedly they're going to change out the patches the next 4 years.
Very good.
For 50 years of the 4-year run.
So is it the same uniforms with a patch, or do they actually have throwback uniforms?
It's a little bit different. In the old days, there were some stripes, gold and brown stripes.
I noticed the away jersey this year had the gold and brown stripe on the sleeve.
Yes.
That I did notice.
So that's kind of a throwback to what the jerseys used to be back in the day.
I like them.
For sure.
It was a good look,
and
for sure.
The patch makes it kind of cool, trying to tie back into the older guys, too.
I think that's a tremendous idea. Tremendous.
Other Bob, how excited are you about a potential on-campus stadium, and have you written your checkout yet?
We'll talk about that another time. We'll talk about that another time. I think there's going to be some of this coming. I don't know how quick or if the stadium will ever come. But I am excited for them to get the turf practice field. That'll allow them to do a lot more on-campus things. And the guys to practice on turf without having to travel all over town. That supposedly is going to happen pretty quick. The stadium is for another discussion.
Yeah, you in your plans, you know what you want to have, and you can begin with putting a turf surface down, and then build up everything around it. So I mean, that's very doable. So
yeah, and I think that's going to happen sooner rather than later.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, very good, my friend. Well, hang in there. We haven't given up. You shouldn't either.
No,
so we're believe me, Joe's plotting and scheming, and we're going to find a way to get you in somehow.
Yes.
So.
Let's hope so. Thanks, fellas.
All right, Bob. Take care. Thank you.
815-254-7300. If you're watching online, hello, everybody. You can DM us, and we'll happily take your message there as well. So, again, you can watch that EDGYTIM channel on YouTube. We're streaming it live right now, so just come on in and tune it in. Joe?
Yes, sir.
Anything else kind of jump out at you? Oh, by the way, we need to celebrate this moment. We were filled in about this last week. A little surprised you didn't remember this by now, Joe. Our ratings.
Oh.
We are once again, for the 6th consecutive year, we are the #1 listened to radio station in Greater Will and Grundy County by men 45 to 70 in the garage drinking beer. So we are very proud of that demographic.
Yeah, we are.
Very proud.
Oh, yes.
And Joe,
yes.
and a tip of the cap to you, young fella, men in garages drinking beer 60 to 75, we're actually up 3%. And a lot of them point towards Coach Joe, that Coach Joe actually coached them when they were kids. So, and that's a tough demographic to obviously hang on to.
That sure is.
Because it's dropping all the time.
It most certainly
Joe,
is.
we're very proud of you and the work
you.
that you've done in the community.
Thank you.
Keep doing what you want. 815-254-7300. I'm sorry, Evan. I didn't see what you showed me there for a second. I didn't see it. Oh, Greg. Hey, Greg. Greg from Tinley. Hello, Greg.
Hello, man. How you doing?
Good. We're doing well. Didn't get a chance to come see you Friday. I was a little bummed out about that, actually.
Well, I was over on the central side and sitting there with all my friends. We were having a rough night there, but it was a good game. You guys just about covered everything I had to say about the game. I thought the quarterback from West was very good. He impressed me.
Yeah.
Never seen him before, but he was something.
Yep.
And the other thing was, not having Tingley. Boy, it really shows up in those tough games.
No
that was tough. So I wanted to ask you about another game, though it wasn't in our area, but it was a big game. Were you surprised at the difference in the score between the Rice and Loyola game? I mean, 28-6?
No, not surprised. This Brother Rice defense and Greg, this defensive line is the real deal. I think they're going to give Mount Carmel everything they can handle. And
I heard they're really big.
Yes. And offensively, they do enough to win games. They've got a senior quarterback that's a couple years starter that's doing a real nice job. And you got to remember, too, about Rice. They are going to be in 7A. So they are going to be a team for both Lincoln Ways to look out for. Yep. I'm going to go see a couple others. I'm going to go see Geneva at St. Charles North tomorrow night. And those are obviously two other bigger power names in 7A to watch out for. So, well, getting a better idea about 7A after this Friday, for sure.
Wow, I didn't know they were in 7A. I was figuring 8A.
No, you got to remember, they haven't had quite the success as some of the others in the Catholic League. So they don't get the penalty or whatever. So enrollment-wise and everything else, they're solid in 7.
Oh, okay. All right.
They're going to be they're real good, Greg. I saw them early in the year.
I heard a little bit about them, and I was talking to a fellow who was doing some scouting out at the Providence Central game, and he was telling me about how big they were up front on the defensive line, and he thought they were dangerous.
Yeah, all 3 of the 4 are major Division I guys with tons of offers already. Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
And young.
Okay.
And young. So.
They're
going to be around for a little while.
Wow, good for Rice. It's been a while.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Greg.
Okay.
All right, Greg.
All
Thanks
right,
for calling, buddy.
Pal. All right, we're going to step aside and take a break. When we come back, we will go out to the phone lines and be joined by Jake Jaworski, head coach of your Joliet Catholic Academy Hillman. You are listening to the Week 5 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL. Will County's News, Talk Sports.
It's football season, ladies and gentlemen, and that means game time. And just like your favorite team, you need the right defense. At the Drew Mormon State Farm Agency, located in Lamont and proudly serving the surrounding areas, we've got your back. From auto, home to life insurance, my team and I will help you make the winning play. And that's saving money while protecting what matters most. So don't wait for the fourth quarter. Switch today. Call the Drew Mormon Agency at 708-799-8020.
1340 WJOL and Darcy Buick GMC are giving you a chance to win a $50 Domino's gift card and some Darcy swag by playing Humming in a Hummer. When you hear the contest being played, text 815-254-7300 with the right answer, and you'll be entered to win. Look for our social post to watch the video. Go on our website, WJOL.com, and click the link to watch the video there, and then text to win. Humming in a Hummer, brought to you by 1340 WJOL and Darcy Buick GMC. Play the game this week.
Tim Kerfin presents House Talk, Monday mornings at 9:05. Real estate, mortgage rates, how to get a house ready to sell, what inspectors are looking for that could trip you up. Tim and his crew will help you navigate through the process of buying or selling the biggest investment you'll make in your life. House Talk, Monday mornings at 9:05. Here on 1340 WJOL, WJOL.com, and on Alexa.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. The message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
High school football on 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back. It is the Week 5 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. EDGYTIM along with the coach, Joe Rodegaro and Evan Bredesen. And Joe.
Yes, sir.
It is National Daughters Day, I believe.
Yeah, I just heard that on the radio coming here.
Well, I, took care of my lovely daughter, Shannon. I'm sure, Joe, you will lavish your daughter with riches and everything else.
Yes.
Not that you have been doing that your whole life, but we both have.
Neither one of us, yeah.
Yeah. But happy Daughter's Day out there. I don't know why. I felt like I was very proud of myself that I actually saw it very early today and didn't forget about it. So pat myself on the back right there. 815-254-7300. We are trying to connect with Jake Jaworski. Unfortunately, not having much luck for right now, but we will continue to try. Would love to talk to Jaws, obviously coming off a much-needed win, Coach Joe.
Yes, for sure.
So, obviously, great for JC to get that first win under their belt. And, Joe?
Sir?
I've been getting a lot of questions about JCA and if they go with 4 wins.
All right.
I have been told by my sources, and I think one source you know very well.
Yes.
If they get 4 wins, they're in.
I
the way
totally
things are lining up.
I totally agree with that.
And it's going to be probably, as of right now, maybe 5, 6, 7 that could get in.
Wow.
Yep. All right, we go out to the phone lines. Joining us, the head man in charge of Joliet Catholic Academy. Somewhere probably
flipping burgers
or selling popcorn in a concession stand somewhere. It's Jake Jaworski. Jaws, where are you tonight?
Hey, I'm at home. But bound for Peoria here shortly. St. Ray's going downstate for baseball.
That's
My
right.
son's 8th grader down there. They got a game at 9:30 tomorrow morning.
It is incredibly well represented in the area, if I'm not mistaken.
It always is. It always is.
Yeah, best of luck. Shanahan Junior High's down there, and so is Troy. So definitely great for the area.
How did those two not wind up in the same side of a regional or a sectional for IHSA? That's kind of wild.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think Shanahan beat Minooka at some point, and then I think Troy maybe went with Romeoville Bolingbrook School.
Maybe. Yeah, that must have been.
Which is cool because that means more teams from the area able to get down there.
That is That is a lot of fun. Did that when my son went to St. Paul's, and St. Paul's won that first championship. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. How's practice? I got to imagine everyone's feeling good and getting ready to get after Naz.
Yeah, obviously, really proud of our guys last week of battling, on the road for the 3rd straight game and coming home and with a victory. And, so you feel good for, at least 24 hours and then, back to work. And, guys had a little extra pep in the step this week. But, you know, I like I told those guys the last couple of weeks, just been really proud of their effort and their practice, you know, just all the way through. And sometimes, you know, the results didn't show up on Friday night, but, you know, they've competed really hard all year. And, you know, last week we found a way to make a couple more plays than Maris did, you know, and came home with victory.
George, I know I read the article in the paper, and we all know this. You know, the first 3 games were meat grinder games, as you called it, and I would call that too. You got 3 players back, and we were at the first game against Lions. I know you had 3 defensive guys go out. But according to the article, you got those guys back. How is the health of the team?
We're getting there. You know, we're getting there. So we got 3 guys that were hurt, you know, in the first half of the Lions game. Those guys came back. It was great to see Parker Moores, you know, who kind of left week 1 in the ambulance. You know, he came back and started last week, and on the 3rd play of the game, the first series, he had an interception. You know, like that's kind of like, you know, that's what you envision. You know, that's what you envision. But Kingston Dunnigan was able to come back after a couple weeks out and made an impact. And then, God, who am I forgetting? One more guy, Brendan Lakota, you know, was a guy that got hurt against Lions as well. Came back, was able to come back against Fenwick. But we're getting there. We're getting there. Now, one of our other linebackers, Jimmy Ragusa, was out last week, and will be out this week, but hopefully get him back next. And then, you know, a guy we're really excited to hopefully get back next week on the field is receiver tight end Keegan Kessick, only a junior. The guy that kind of really do everything for us offensively has been out since the week before our first game. So hopefully he gets back next week. But, yeah, it's definitely good to have those guys back. Kind of feel like, you know, having the unit that, you know, we kind of prepared for or prepared with, you know, all summer. So that's added some depth and you know, definitely some extra energy, too, getting those guys back.
Jaws, I had a chance to see Naz week 1 out of Kankakee, and you know, then they were kind of still trying to find themselves a little bit offensively. I know that they were rotating and using 2 different quarterbacks. Is that still the case, or has he settled on someone?
Yeah, no, it's in the films that we have, you know, both guys continue to play, you know, so we got to be prepared for both, and both are very similar, you know, so they both kind of do the same things. You know, I think they're maybe looking for, you know, a little consistency there, or, you know, they just feel good about both guys. I'm not exactly sure, but both guys are still playing.
Yeah, and again, I think one of the strengths of that team this year is their wide receiver core. I mean, they've got 2 or 3 guys that are really, really solid, and I can imagine that's going to be an area of concern for you heading into tomorrow night.
Yeah, for sure. You know, we got you know, they got 3 or 4 guys that they feel pretty good about and can get loose, you know, on any play. You know, I guess our thing is we can't let the quarterback get comfortable. You know, because if we give them time or we give them easy reads, they're going to take it. And you know, we talked about, you know, the explosives, you know, and preventing the explosives, because they got a couple guys that can get vertical on you real quick.
I talked to a mutual friend of ours, and on Saturday, I think it was Saturday or Sunday, and he said the running game has gotten better, so that means the offensive line is improving.
Yeah, we have. We've taken a little bit of a step forward, but we gotta continue to be a little bit more consistent there, and you know, kind of, you know, believe it or not, do enough in the run game to continue to complement the passing game. Yeah. You know, for those that have seen us, you know, we've been throwing the ball, you know, a lot more, which is fine because we got guys that are making plays. You know, we got guys that are making plays out there, and you know, maybe a little bit opposite of where we've been in the past, but you know, it's really kept us in games and given us a chance to kind of win. You know, it's give us a chance to be in those games. But you know, a couple of those games are right there in the fourth quarter or the second half. You know, and some of those, even last week, we didn't put up the passing numbers that we had, but there was a couple, I think three different calls were 2 pass interferences and a holding call, which might have been big plays in the pass game, but they extended drives, you know, so it's kind of some hidden yards there. You know, it didn't show up, you know, on a quarterback's passing yards or receivers' receiving yards, but, you know, definitely extended drives and you know, allow us to go downfield and score.
You know, the front page of the Herald News today, and it's been a big talking point, is the proposal for big changes over on your campus. And Jaws, I mean, I can look at all the mock-ups and everything, and you kind of get a little bit of an idea. But how excited are you to one of these days see a lot of those plans actually take root? I try to imagine it. Me personally, I got to see it for myself kind of guy. I mean, you got to be excited for a lot of things that are planned as well.
Yeah, I think it's a long time coming. I think Coach Rod, I don't know if you were quite still there or maybe had just left when the latest outside athletic complex was kind of put together.
Right. I was there. That was my last couple. Yeah, I was there. Yep.
Yeah. So it needs a little bit of an overhaul, but just to have something on campus that whether it's football, whether it's soccer, having a multi-purpose field on campus to host our practices. Some of my sleepless nights come from rain in the forecast. Yep. And where are we going to not only where are we going to practice, but what's that going to do to our field? For the rest of the year. And to have that on campus, to be able to host youth games and practices, and just for our kids, it's crazy if you think about it that, with all the storied tradition of Joliet Catholic football, we've never played on a field that had a victory light on it or said Hillman, so that kind of stuff. And just, to be able to create that energy and feel on campus, I think is something that would be really exciting for the community, school community.
So that means you can put the water cannon away, Josh?
The water cannon was going this morning, so potentially be able to put that thing away.
I certainly hope so.
But no, I mean, that's, I know, that would be just something really, really cool.
I totally
really awesome
agree.
And create a really cool atmosphere and, kind of something to call home, the Memorial Stadium. I mean, obviously so much tradition there and, some awesome games, awesome battles there, but, we definitely need some facility on campus. And I know Ryan Quigley, our Director of Development or Institutional Advancement, is real gung-ho on this too, and he's done a great job in developing, the plans and working with the right people and our administration. So, hopefully we can get this thing going, continue to go in the right direction.
Jaws, I've been talking to different people all week and really over the last couple of weeks, and all I keep getting asked, I was telling Joe, I did an interview with Ken Leonard. Well, the first thing he asked me, hey, what's going on with Joliet Catholic? Go to the grocery store. Hey, what's going on? What do you think's going on with Joliet Catholic? I'm like, look, people, relax. They're a really good team. I wouldn't lie to you. I still believe Joliet Catholic is a really good team, Joel. We've talked about it.
No, so do I.
People, just hang in there. It's coming. Believe me. Jaws is doing, believe me, this staff has probably never worked harder than they have this year right now with all this.
Yeah, I'm just really, really proud of our staff, and I mean, nobody's feeling sorry for us. We're not feeling sorry for ourselves. We've been a little bit snake bit with the injury bug, and I think if you look who's been on our schedule, and again, in all three games we've competed into the fourth quarter and given ourselves a chance to win, and just haven't made enough plays to win. Right. And last week was a step in the right direction and finishing a game. Maybe not how you draw it up, but finishing a game with more points than the other team.
Yep.
And hopefully we can continue to build on it. We were, at home and then on the road for 3, and now we're home for 4 of the last 5. So I talked to the guys at practice today. Hey, everything we want is right in front of us. Now it's not going to be easy and still kind of in that meat grinder mode, but hey, it's not supposed to be easy.
Those people don't ask me about programs that they don't care or know about. Trust me. So that's a compliment right there.
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
No doubt.
Exactly. So, we're excited. We're excited for the challenge ahead of us, and our guys are working hard. I'm real proud of our guys, and I'm proud of our coaches, and we're just going to continue to move forward.
All right, go get one tomorrow night, Jaws. Best of luck, and we'll talk to you a little bit down the line.
Yep. All right, appreciate it, guys.
Good luck, Jaws.
Hey, thanks for having me.
You bet. Right. Jake Jaworski joining us, and now where's he? Oh, Peoria. That's right. Head down to Peoria. Yep. Going down.
Play. Yep.
Yeah, that's a fun experience. That was a great experience.
Now, Where do they play? Do they play at that park?
East side, East Peoria.
Yes.
That facility.
Yeah, I know exactly where it's at. They would host the
Louisville. Is it Louisville Slugger? I think it's Louisville Slugger.
Oh,
and they also built.
That's where the softball.
Well, they have a softball complex, but I think the East side. We're Slocum. He would know this.
Yeah.
I think at East Peoria, there's that complex there. I think they play baseball there.
Right.
And then I think softball they play over at the Louisville.
Right, because I've been at the field a few times, coaching in all-star games, north against the south as far as Illinois.
Yeah, good luck area, great schools.
Yes.
I heard Slocum talk about that in the morning, and I went online and looked it up. I'm like, wow, Shanahan's there, my neighbor's schools, and
it's always really well represented.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's either St. Ray's or St. Paul's. One of the two.
Yep.
Usually wind up making a deep run, so that's awesome. So, 815-254-7300. Joe, a couple of games we'll go through before we go up against the break. I think one of the best games in the area tomorrow night, Joe. St. Francis, the Spartans coming to town at 3-1 against Providence 3-1.
I agree with that.
It's a big game for Providence. If you look at what they have left, so you've got St. Francis, then Marist, Loyola, Marian Catholic, JCA. Joe?
Week 9.
I'm just telling you, people.
I'm picking the Celtics.
Week 9.
I'm picking the Celtics.
Yeah, so again, should be a good game. Willie will join us from Lamont in about 5 minutes or so. Joe, this is the only week that matters when it comes to Lamont. They have to win this week.
I know. This is the
1-3 TF South comes to town. They're going down. That's all I got.
And it's homecoming week at
and
Lamont.
Then next week you're going to lose, but I'm sorry, but it's going to happen. We just talked to Jake Jaworski, Joliet Catholic hosting Naz. Hello.
Joe,
are you with me?
Yeah, I am. Believe it or not, can you see the smoke coming out of my headphones?
I could actually. Yes, I was a little concerned.
This is going to be the year. It's like the crypto. It's like Loyola.
All right.
And Lincoln. I'm hoping Joliet Catholic.
I'm going to go with Naz, but I get it. I'm right with you there. No doubt about it. Plainfield Central 1-3 at Joliet Central 1-3. Can Joliet Central get win number 2?
Yes.
Ooh, Joe stepping out. Gotta love that. Plainfield South 0-4, and Joe, it's not like they're getting the doors blown off. They've been close in pretty much every game this year. So Plainfield South at 0-4 at Plainfield East 3-1. But boy, oh boy, we will talk to Dan Tito at Joliet West and talk about that conference a little bit. But boy, did Plainfield East get kind of humbled last week, huh?
Yeah, they sure did. Just kind of run over a little bit, but yeah, this is a big game because if they get this victory, which I'm picking them to win.
East.
Yes.
Okay.
4-1, and they got Plainfield North left, Joliet West, and Romeoville. Yeah.
All right, we're going to step aside and take a break. When we come back, don't go anywhere. Willie Hayes, the pride of Lamont Football Club, joins us. We'll talk about their huge game tomorrow night, maybe the biggest game of his coaching career. We'll be back. Welcome to the Week 5 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports.
Have you been looking for lunch in all the wrong places? Then stop by Jody's Chicago-style hot dogs and more. And do we mean more? At Jody's on Republic Avenue, you'll find a full selection of Chicago-style hot dogs, Polish and even corn dogs too, along with hamburgers, chicken, ribeyes, Italian beef, sausage, and more. And the stop to Jody's wouldn't be complete without Jody's famous hand-cut fries. Jody's Chicago-style hot dogs and more. 326 Republic Avenue in Joliet. Catering and delivery available online at jodyshotdogs.com.
Fever, cough, sore throat? Is it flu, strep, RSV, or something else? I just wish I could know what's really making my child sick without all the guessing.
At eKids, we take the unknown out of the equation. I'm Amy.
And I'm April.
And we're the owners of eKids. eKids now offers one simple test for 15 common viruses and bacteria with results in 15 minutes with lab-level accuracy. Visit eKids 7 to 7 every day in Shorewood near Target. No appointment needed. Visit eMediacure.com. When your family's in need, trust the E.
Just because you think you're so pretty.
Hi, this is Kathy Carosa from the Polkas on Tour radio show. Join us every Sunday morning, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., right here on WJOL 1340 AM. Will County's News, Talk, Sports.
Me to spend all my money. You'll laugh and call me old Santa Claus. I'm telling you, baby, I'm through with you just because.
So you're getting some roof or exterior work done, and you've covered all your bases, right? Even checked out some online reviews. You think you've got everything covered? Well, think again. Not all roofing and siding companies are insured. That's why I can't say enough great things about R.E. Duchesne Construction. They are a licensed and fully bonded exterior contractor serving Will, Grundy, and Kendall counties for over 40 years. I trust them, and I've personally used them.
Hi, I'm Rita Duchesne Hughes. If you look at your home and don't like what you see, or what you have no longer protects your family and largest asset, call us at R.E. Duchesne Construction. R.E. Duchesne has an A-plus Better Business Bureau rating, so you can be confident you need only make one call. Looking to upgrade? R.E. Duchesne offers a full line of roof shingles, gutters, siding, soffit fascia, and windows. These add great value and beauty to your home. Call us at 815-722-2821 for all your home improvement needs. Financing is now available. Check us out on the web at reduchene.com.
And be sure to tell them Scott Slocum sent you.
Your official home for Joliet and Will County sports is 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back. It is the Week 5 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL. EDGYTIM along with the beloved Coach Joe Rodegaro. And Evan Bredesen spinning the dials. Welcome back. Joe?
Yes, sir.
Time we go out to the phone lines. And Joe, this might be the biggest game of his coaching career.
For sure.
Very well could be. We go out to the phone lines, and we are joined by Willie Hayes from Lamont. And Coach, not to put any extra pressure on you, but, well, you know, you need this one. Now, I want all the effort and focus on this week. Don't worry about next week. There's nothing waiting for you next week. Okay? This is the week to get after it, my friend.
Oh, man, that's right. 1 week at a time, right, Edgy?
Absolutely. We're focused on TF South tomorrow. That's it. Give the kids 3-4 days off next week. It's fine. Welcome, sir.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it.
How is your lovely bride, Alex, and the boys?
Oh, she's great.
Yeah.
You know, just skating through football season. You know how it goes, Coach Rod.
Yes, and thank her for the DM.
They're running around. They're running around the house now, trying to listen to Dad. So I'm sure it's a little hectic inside.
She found a way to send a message to Coach Joe, though.
Yes. She's actually taking care of 4 boys. You know.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Yeah, she had to feed the 4th tonight.
Oh my Lord.
You know, Edge. Alex texted me one time, and she's all for a wife show to talk about their husbands. I would love to interview.
We'll never have another show after that show. That'll be it. We'll be off the air.
The FCC will come after us?
Yeah. Call Jake Jaworski. Call Jake Jaworski after that show and see if he picks up the phone.
Oh, gosh.
Unreal.
You wouldn't be in too much trouble now, would you? No, not Willie.
That would be, I'll say it, that would be tremendous radio. Can you feel the tension over the phone lines with that going on?
Man.
Oh, I would love that, though.
Greg and Timley would have a lot of questions.
Oh, my God. Crazy.
Oh, my.
All right.
I'm crying
all kidding aside, you knew what you had early in the schedule. You know, obviously, I think those teams that you lost too early are going to wind up giving you some pretty good playoff points. Mm-hmm. Now you're in conference play, and it looks like you're kind of settling in and things starting to go your way. Is that fair?
Yeah. I mean, the first 2 weeks, we kind of knew what we were getting into, right? Like Libertyville, they were a physical, solid football team, and I mean, Kalen came out and punched us in the mouth, and you know, with us being young, we kind of got off the bus flat, and we had our learning experiences for sure, but I was proud of how our kids responded in the second half. And, you know, we really focused on repping to our kids about, like, the importance of practice and making sure that we're focusing on just doing our job one rep at a time. So I've been proud of our kids of kind of how they responded, as well as our coaching staff, with just making sure that we're focusing on the details and moving forward day in and day out. So.
let's talk offensive a little bit, Willie. The progression of Mike Pruce, your quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Coach, you there?
Willie?
Yeah, sorry, I broke up for a second. Yeah, Mike started for us as a sophomore. He had his learning experiences last year, but we felt like he really settled in this season for sure. He's a calm, cool, collective kid. He takes care of the football and makes good reads through his progression. And I think he's really stepping into somewhat of that leadership role as a junior early on in the season, which is nice to see. He's kind of, making sure we're setting a tempo in practice and going throughout his reads. And like I said, the importance of just taking care of the football, right? Like, we want to make sure that we're on the rock. And when we can expose people deep or quick game play action, we're going to do so and then rely on our defense. And I think he's really bought into kind of our philosophy there. So
you mentioned being young, and I had a chance to talk to Corey Laga the other night. And Coach, talk about him a little bit, because boy, I take a look at him and just kind of all arms and legs right now. But boy, there's a guy that could be like your next bigger guy coming out of that program.
Yeah, we're fired up about Corey. I mean, he started for us last year as a sophomore at 195 pounds.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's roster weight. So we're talking maybe 185, 190. But we had a long conversation with him in the offseason, myself and Coach Posick, who's our O-line coach and our OC, and just kind of said, like, hey, this is where we kind of see you, right? Like, we have long lineage of solid Division I
100%
offensive linemen that come out of Lamont High School. We truly believe, when he gets to that size, he could be that next poster child that we have come out of Lamont. I just recently got off the phone with Kansas, so they're starting to get in touch with him. So things are heating up for him for sure.
Is that
like you said, it's just one of those things where he's got to start, filling out a little bit, and it's something that he's really bought into. So he put on 40, 45 pounds this off season. He put on another 10, 12 pounds in August.
He still has a lot to go. So that'll tell you.
There's no
he's going to be a 300 pounder. There's no doubt.
No doubt. So he's got the frame to put it on, and he's fully invested on doing so. So we're excited for him, and he's continued to work hard. And like I said, he's really stepped up in that leadership role as well. So we're pumped.
You got two decent running backs too, with Rudman and Escalante.
Yep. Yeah. So Andrew's a junior. We're relying on Aiden Rudman this year. He's kind of our horseback there, and I've joked with a couple people. It's a little like thunder lightning, right? Like, Rudman's going to be those kids who can run between tackles, and he's going to be a bruiser, and it's going to be difficult to bring him down. He's smaller in stature, but man, he could pound the rock. And then we go a little curveball with Andrew Escalante, who's got track speed, and he's able to get outside. And it's been a nice combination to have the two. Like they both have their strengths, and we've really focused on making sure that we're doing things offensively to focus on what they're successful at. And without those, talk all you want about those guys, but of course, you can't run the football without the offensive line in front. I think our offensive line is really honed in on making sure they're doing their job and being physical in the run game. So we're excited about what we got, for sure.
Yeah, I know TF South's got a new first-year head coach this year. I know Coach Padgett retired, and what do the Red Wolves kind of offer? What do you got to be aware of with them tomorrow night?
Yeah, they're big up front. I mean, they're physical. They can get after it, and they got speed on the edge. So they're going to give us issues. They load the box a little bit. They run a 4-4 and run cover 3 behind it. Sometimes they'll go to a cover 4 or man up. So we're going to have to be on our A game for sure. They got the size and they've got speed. So if we don't execute, they're going to give us issues. And then offensively, they got athletes all over the place. They got kids who can just flat out run and get vertical. And we're looking forward to the test. I think their record doesn't reflect the type of football team that they can be. They've had a little bit of an injury bug here and there, and things have not gone their way. But our kids have prepped all week, and we're kind of excited to get after it tomorrow.
Yeah, no doubt. All right. Well, again, Coach, no pressure, but wait a big one tomorrow.
I actually got one more question.
Fire away.
Is there any more eating challenges there at Lamont High School? None?
Coach Rod, the coaching shirt is getting a little tight, so I told myself I was going to have to back off the eating challenges this season, but I'm sure I'll get back after it a little bit here, you know?
You know what? And I also heard from somebody that your AV skills are outstanding.
Oh, man, I'm going to have to talk to that guy tomorrow, huh?
I'll have to tell Edgy about that off the air.
Yeah, that'll be off-air show.
Yeah. No
All right,
problem.
Willie. Appreciate you joining us. Good luck tomorrow, okay?
Yes, good luck, Willie.
Yeah,
Tell
thanks,
Alex
guys.
I said hey.
Thank you very much.
All right, buddy.
Thank you very much.
All right, bye-bye.
Willie Hayes joining us.
I love that guy. I love him.
You could text Joe to get the behind-the-scenes story on a couple of those stories, as you could well imagine. And nice that Alex Hayes to reach out to Coach Joe.
She's a sweetheart.
God, 4 guys in that house, my Lord.
Oh, yeah.
God help her.
Yes.
815-254-7300. Joe?
Sir.
Let's go through, and Evan, don't go far, because I'm going to ask you a couple of questions here shortly. We'll save Joliet West and Romeoville for the coaches coming up in the 7 o'clock hour. Reed Custer at Coal City. Kind of a tough matchup for Reed Custer, but, you know.
I got the Kohlers taking this one.
Yeah.
But there is a path possibly for Reed Custer to get in the playoffs.
Yeah, I was looking at that a little bit earlier today. So they're at Coal City versus the Tone, at Herscher versus Wilmington, and then Lyle. We'll get it clarified. I know that Lyle was playing a JV schedule with what they have this year. So that's why if you look at them in IHSA, they only have like 4 games on the schedule. That is my understanding. I'm not 100% sure if Reed Custer's getting a forfeit and just playing that game. We'll find out.
Okay.
But that obviously could play large.
Oh, huge.
In the playoff points and getting 5 wins to get in. So you mark that generally as a win.
Yep.
Coal City, tough game.
Yep.
The Tone, tough game. Herscher.
That's up in the air there.
Wilmington.
No.
Lyle. You got to get a win between... You're assuming you get a win over Herscher and L to Wilmington. So you got to get a win over Coal City or the Tone.
Or Tone, yes. The
So,
next 2 weeks are huge
possible.
for Reed Custer. Yep.
Not easy.
Nope.
But possible.
Edgy, from what I have here on the IHSA website for Lyle, essentially forfeit already done. They're going to play a game with Reed Custer on October 24th. It's considered a conference game, but it's already considered a forfeit
So
by
it's probably
record.
a JV
So probably a
team.
JV squad of some kind. But
That is what I thought I was told by someone early in the year.
yeah, Dwight, Piatone, Herscher, and Reed Custer are their games. So actually their game against Reed Custer on the 24th is their last one of the season.
Let's save the rushing. We're gonna talk IHSA records a little bit in the 7 o'clock hour. Evan did a little back research. Last week we were talking about. Oh, by the way, Jonas Williams. I didn't even put it on here tonight. We'll have that every Monday morning with Slocum, with the Big Five, along with Jonas Williams.
Right.
Watch. He's 2 touchdowns away, I believe, from tying time.
Tying
so
the record.
3 from setting it. I think 1,058 yards.
Correct.
Is the yardage. So that's Jonas watch. I'll make sure I include that every week on our sheet here, so we have it in front of us. We want to talk a little bit about IHSA rushing records. Evan's done some homework. We'll do that around 7:25. Joe, Mantino at Wilmington, 3-1 could be a good game.
It could be, but I'm gonna go with the Wildcat here. Just they're kind of on a roll right now, and I'm gonna pick Piatone 2 over Streeter.
Morris at Canelan could be a tough game as well. Canelan beating Lamont earlier in the year.
And I know Canelan's a very good team, but I looked at their schedules. The teams that they beat are 4-10, and the teams that Morris beat are 10-4. So maybe a little bit stiffer competition. I don't know for sure, but I'm going to go with Morris here. Tough place to play, Cameron, but I'm going to pick Morris.
So, and again, I apologize to you two for providing this very late, but I came up with basically an overall general schedule for the area. So, guys, you've got about 9 teams right now that are 4-0 or 3-1.
Yes.
Who do you predict finishes 9-0, 8-1 out of that group?
Well, Lincoln Way East.
Okay. I think Morris has got a pretty good pass.
Yeah, Morris is good.
Sycamore a little bit down, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Who else? I think West is going to come down to Bradley.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Yeah, I think Lincoln Way West, that's an intriguing schedule because that whole old DVC area, we were talking about it before the show, not what it was.
Providence at 3-1, guys. This is a big game this week.
It certainly is.
It's a swing game as far as them kind of catching some momentum and keep going.
I totally agree with you.
Plainfield East, we saw what happened last week. They've got to bounce back this week. But again, guys, with the conference,
you have to win the conference.
Yeah.
You're going to have to win the conference.
5 wins. It's very possible they can win the conference.
Well, I mean, I think maybe.
You're saying 5 wins isn't going to be enough, Coach?
No.
Oh, it could be, though. We've seen some wacky things.
Yeah, that's true, too.
Side of the conference. So we'll see. 3-1 is a good place for them right now.
Exactly.
Romeoville again, same situation.
Yeah,
with
same
I
way.
just don't know how things are going to shake out. We will have Justin Travato on actually at about 7:05, so don't go anywhere. Coal City at 3-1 again. Piatone week 7, Wilmington week 9. 2 big games right there, Joe.
Yes.
Well, I tell you what, if there wasn't one gigantic game that week 9, that'd be a really good week.
Ooh, yes.
9 game to do.
Yep.
No doubt.
There are some big week 9 games, though.
Yeah. Wilmington, as we talked about. No, Thornton's not going to be a threat. Don't worry about it. There'll be Reed Custer. Could be a good game, but Coal City, week 9.
7-2, 8-1.
Yep. Lincoln Way Central, Joe. DeKalb should be a win. Bradley will be the toughest matchup they have left. Ed Andrews, a solid game with Bondi Valley Rich Township.
Yeah.
So we'll see. All right, we're going to wrap it up. Don't go anywhere. 7 o'clock hour, we'll take ABC News, and we'll come right back. Justin Travato will join us from Romeoville. Also, Dan Tito later in the 7 o'clock hour. You're listening to Week 5 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports.
From the Abri Credit Union Studio, this is Will County's News Talk Sports, WJOL, Joliet.
It's football season, ladies and gentlemen, and that means game time. And just like your favorite team, you need the right defense. At the Drew Mormon State Farm Agency, located in Lamont and proudly serving the surrounding areas, we've got your back. From auto, home to life insurance, my team and I will help you make the winning play. And that's saving money while protecting what matters most. So don't wait for the fourth quarter. Switch today. Call the Drew Mormon Agency at 708-799-8020.
From the Abri Credit Union Studio, this is Will County's News Talk Sports, WJOL, Joliet.
From ABC News, I'm Dave Thacker. Former FBI Director James Comey's been indicted by a federal grand jury. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
The former FBI director is charged with 2 felony counts, making false statements and obstructing a congressional inquiry. The Attorney General posted on X, quote, "No one is above the law." Pam Bondi added, "Today's indictment reflects this Department of Justice's commitment to holding those who abuse positions of power accountable for misleading the American people."
On social media, President Trump calling the indictment of Comey, quote, "justice in America," adding Comey is, quote, "now at the beginning being held responsible for his crimes against our nation." Court records show the case has been initially assigned to Judge Michael Nachmanoff, an appointee of former President Joe Biden. If convicted, Comey faces up to 5 years in prison. In the Oval Office, President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance detailing the agreement that will allow TikTok to come under the control of a group of U.S. investors.
There was some resistance on the Chinese side, but the fundamental thing that we wanted to accomplish is that we wanted to keep TikTok operating, but we also wanted to make sure that we protected Americans' data privacy as required by law, both because it's the right thing to do, but also because it's a legal requirement of the law that was passed last year by Congress.
President Trump said tech giant Oracle would be among the U.S. investors in TikTok. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas telling the United Nations that people in Gaza want peace and outlining a multi-pronged plan for normal relations between Israelis and Palestinians if Israel's ready to stop the fighting.
We have affirmed and we will continue to affirm that the Gaza Strip is an integral part of the state of Palestine and that we are ready to bear full responsibility for governance and security there. Hamas will not have a role to play in governance.
Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu set to speak at the UN tomorrow. You're listening to ABC News.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them. They have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go. And that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Before a closed-door meeting, President Trump urged Turkish President Erdogan to stop buying Russian energy. ABC's Karen Travers with more.
Sitting side by side in the Oval Office Thursday, President Trump put public pressure on Turkey's President Erdogan to stop buying Russian oil as a way to put a squeeze on President Putin.
The best thing he could do is not buy oil and gas from Russia. If he did that, that would be probably the best thing. He knows Putin like I know Putin.
Asked if he would increase sanctions on Russia even if all NATO countries didn't stop purchasing Russian oil, the president said only, quote, "We're going to see about that." Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
What takes a full day? Dozens of volunteers and a tranquilizer gun. Rescue of a moose in Maine, of course.
Quite the operation in Maine to free a moose trapped in an abandoned well. It took 5 hours and included sedating the moose, running straps around it, and lifting it out with an excavator.
This is a majestic, giant animal in such a precarious situation. So to be able to see everyone come together in all these different ways that they needed to was absolutely incredible. And then seeing it work out was just so satisfying and heartwarming.
That's Delaney Gardner, who watched the whole thing unfold. The moose eventually woke up and ran off. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
911 systems were down across a large portion of Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama Thursday afternoon after a major fiber cut disrupted telecommunication networks around 1:30 in the afternoon. Dave Packer, ABC News.
Surprise! Your expenses this month were way higher than you expected. Also, you forgot to renew your website domain, and now you're in a bidding war.
You should see the look on your face. At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Plus, the fridge died in the break room, and now everything smells weird. All right.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
It's football season, ladies and gentlemen, and that means game time. And just like your favorite team, you need the right defense. At the Drew Mormon State Farm Agency, located in Lamont and proudly serving the surrounding areas, we've got your back. From auto, home to life insurance, my team and I will help you make the winning play. And that's saving money while protecting what matters most. So don't wait for the fourth quarter. Switch today. Call the Drew Mormon Agency at 708-799-8020.
Save big on everything for your next project when you shop at Menards. We have everything you need to update your window treatments with Window Images blinds and shades. We carry vinyl, aluminum, and full wood blinds, cellular shades, and more. Plus, get them trimmed to width in store for free. Also, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Hi, this is Adam from Newmark Credit Union, inviting you to join us this Tuesday for our Money Talk radio show. Don't miss out as our guests talk about topics that can help you do more with your money and achieve your goals. And who knows, you may even be one of our lucky callers to win a $25 gift card. And all you have to do is tune in and listen this Tuesday just after 9 a.m. here on 1340 WJOL. Will County's News, Talk, Sports.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter? Right? And the best part? They accept Discover. Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer. Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times. Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants? These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide, based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
High school football on 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back. Hour number 2. Well, let's face it, your favorite gosh darn show in the whole world. Pigskin preview here on 1340 WJOL, the Week 5 edition. EDGYTIM, along with the coach Joe Rodegaro and Evan Bredesen spinning the dials. And Joe.
Yes, sir.
Remember, I talked about this in the 6 o'clock hour. We are the #1 listened to show in the Will Kane County area, Grundy County area. Yeah. Grundy 2 and Kane.
Okay.
I don't know how they voted, but they did. For men 45 to 70 drinking beer in garages. I'm very proud of that demographic.
There must be a lot of them drinking beer in garages.
And Joe, in particular, you were noted from 60 to 75. They listen because of Coach Joe.
I'm sure they do.
It was written in their little surveys, so we're very proud of that, Joe. Congratulations.
I do appreciate it.
Oh, enough of this nonsense. By the way, our broadcast schedule is as follows. 6:05 Friday Night Lights, 7 o'clock Romeoville hosting Joliet West, and joining us on the phone, Romeoville head coach Justin Travato. Justin, welcome aboard.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on again.
No problem. Glad to have you here. Yes. And again, I know didn't go quite the way you wanted to last week, but you know what? You get to play again this week, and I imagine you guys can't wait to get back on the field again.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we always know going into the season, you know, you don't want to lose any game, right? Everybody wants to be 9-0 to start the year. But we go into those crossover matchups, and we're playing 8A schools. You know, we're on the verge ourselves of dropping into 6A. Yep. So we know those matchups are going to be pretty tough for us. And, you know, Coach Imberdino was with us for a long time over at Romeoville, and he kind of knows our strengths and weaknesses in and out. You know, they took advantage of their size on Friday night, kind of pushed us around, especially early on, and then, you know, wheels kind of came off there in the second quarter. But, you know, our kids, you know, rallied and fought through the game, and, you know, luckily we came out pretty healthy, so we're looking forward to getting back on the field, getting back in our side of the conference, and a good matchup with Coach Tito and Joliet West on tomorrow night.
How surprised were you last week around this time to hear from the Chicago Bears?
Oh, man, you don't even know. I was definitely not expecting that. You know, I got a call from my AD at about 2:40. I was running a little behind, making some phone calls to end my day, and so you got to hurry up and run out here. And I'm walking out there thinking I'm walking into a fight or something like that. Yeah. And here it is. You know, I see my assistant principal, the principal out there. And
you're like, oh boy, I'm really in trouble. Do I still have a job?
We've been to the Bears clinic the last few years as staff, and you know, I see Gustavo there, and I'm like, oh man, here we go. So it was a great honor, but you know, it's not just me that I get the recognition, but it really comes down to our coaching staff, you know, preparing our kids going out and executing. You know, they put us in a real good spot, you know, early in the season, taking care of the non-conference games and opening up conference with a win over Plainfield Central. You know, put ourselves in a real good spot. You know, even with, you know, last week, you know, we learned a lot from last week about ourselves and where we need to get better and where we need to improve. And, you know, it's kind of a wake-up call for the kids, right? They hadn't been in that spot, you know, in volleyball a long time. So for them, you know, I think we maybe were a little over our heels there, you know, a little bit over our toes, trying to think a little bit too far ahead. And got to get back to just thinking week to week and taking care of business.
Well, Justin, as you said, that was going to be my question. I was just going to make a statement that even though the game did not go the way you wanted to, and as you said, it got a little bit out of hand, but the kids still fought. Even though the result wasn't what you wanted, games like that show the kids how they must improve, as you said, but also that there's going to be teams that you may play. If you make, you know, again, you're 3-1, I got you going to the playoffs, my man. That you might match up against a team that might be a little bit more physically sized than we are, that this is what we have to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you know, that's the key is you never know what you're going to face. Like, we're going to face another physical team this week with Joliet West. Yep. You know, you're going to have, you know, Coach Tito on a little bit here. You know, their record does not match the type of football team that they are. You know, that's a good football team. You know, they're going to give us everything they have tomorrow night. You know, we talked about that today with our kids. They're fighting for their playoff lives, and, you know, we need to be prepped for that. You know, they're not going to lay down for us. And kids got to be ready to go. We've had a good week of practice, you know, recovering from, you know, what happened last Friday night and just moving on. You know, play the old 24-hour rule. You think about it for 24 hours, and then we move on to Joliet West. The kids have done a real nice job. If you go back to last year for us, that was kind of a turning point in the season for us when we played West. We did not play very well, and our kids remember that. And they have that in their minds about how we played last year against Joliet West, and they want to rectify that. Especially our quarterback, Richard Conley. It's probably one of his toughest games of the season, and he has been studying film like crazy, trying to get ready and prep to make sure that he has done everything in his power to make sure that we're in a good spot tomorrow night.
I can imagine from the defensive side, West might be a little harder to figure out because it kind of seems like they got a rotating quarterback thing going on. Is that the case this year, Coach?
Yeah, it seems like, they're I think they've, had a little bit of the injury bug, at that position and trying to figure out. They're playing a lot of young guys this year. So they have it a little bit tough to figure out, but, we're pretty confident in our game plan, and, our kids, I think we're going to match up pretty well with their athleticism. So we're looking forward to matchup, getting back to some good defense, because before last week, our defense has been playing pretty well. We gave up 19 in the first quarter and a half week one, and then we shut out Stag from there. We only gave up 8 against Tinley Park. And really, honestly, against Plainfield Central, they scored their 16 points in the fourth quarter. We were up 32-0 in that third quarter. So our defense has really been playing much better this season compared to past seasons. And credit to Matt Williams, who's our defensive coordinator, of getting our kids prepared and having them ready to go. And just the kids, we're undersized by far on defense. And just their grit to be able to make tackles, being outweighed sometimes by 100 pounds, and just finding a way to get it done.
Coach, everybody knows about, Rich at quarterback, the dual threat, just a tremendous athlete. You've talked about him. Talk about two of the receivers that I saw. Is it Josiah Duckworth and is it Keelan Winfield? It seems like those two guys are kind of a good target for Mr. Conley.
Yeah, for sure. So Keelan's kind of been our big play guy. He rose as a junior this year, and we weren't really sure what we were going to have going into the season, going into summer. We did a little 7-on-7 in the spring, and he showed some flashes, but wasn't quite there. And he's put in a ton of work. He's matured a ton. He's been our big play guy. He's got 5 touchdowns, already this year, just on 19 catches. He's probably one of the biggest play guys we've had in a few years that has that.
Uh-oh.
Coach.
It went out.
Yep. Well, unfortunately, we lost Coach in the middle of it. The ghost is back in the machine.
Actually, we had 2 callers complete.
I know. We did better.
Yep.
We're doing better. We'll get back in touch with Justin Travato in a moment here. We'll call him back. Positive things coming out of Romeoville this year for sure.
Oh, without a doubt. Even though they got beat pretty good last week,
what happened?
He talked about the crossover games. Those teams are more physical.
Yep.
And Joliet West is no slouch. They're going to be physical too.
Yep.
But it's a different. We got him back.
Yeah. We'll get him back on here in a second. Coach, sorry about that.
That's all right.
We got ghosts in the machine here or something. I don't know what's going on. So, how is this team feel different this year at this point of the season, maybe compared to the last couple of years? Is this kind of we're hoping the fruits of your labor the last handful of years maybe starting to pay off a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. You're starting to see, a different level of commitment from the kids, and we're not having those days where we got 50 on the roster, but we might only have, 35, 40 at practice. Our kids are definitely committed. Everybody's enjoying being a part of the team. Winning definitely helps that, right?
Yep.
But, overall, just this group of seniors is stuck real tight. They've done a good job of holding everything together, and we got a real good group of juniors that have really impressed me with, their maturity and how they've come along as a group. Like, we're starting a lot of juniors on defense, and they've really, rose to the challenge. They got smacked in the mouth a little bit week one against Stag right in that first, quarter and a half, and then they were able to step up and shut them out the rest of the game, and they've kind of just kept growing from that point forward and playing really well. So we're really excited about the group that we have, and hopefully, progression that we see where we're now back to a point, where we're competing year in and year out, to be in a position at some point in the season to, hopefully make the playoffs and at some point, competing for a conference championship.
A couple of bullet points you're going to go over with your kid before you take the field tomorrow. What are those?
I think number one is just making sure, we execute our assignments, right? Like that's the biggest thing that we talk about is we can't control what Joliet West is going to do. If they're rotating quarterbacks in and out, we have to be ready to adapt and adjust with that. And if we just, live by our rules on defense, we'll be good there. And then offensively, just making sure we take, what's going to be there. We have a pretty good feeling about our game plan going into tomorrow night and, areas that we're going to attack, but making sure that we just take that, and that's where we've kind of gotten out of ourselves sometimes this year and trying to make every play the big play, just understanding that we just need to stack some positive plays, stack some first downs like we did in the first 3 weeks. We'll end up scoring some points because we do have those playmakers. The plays will come, but you just got to trust and be confident in what we're doing and adjust to what they're doing and just keep it rolling.
Well, again, my friend, appreciate you joining us again, and just best of luck tomorrow night, and go get one, okay?
Yeah, looking forward to tomorrow night, Justin. Good luck.
Yeah, me too. All right, guys. Thanks again.
All right. Justin Travato joins us from Romeoville, and again, Joe, young guys putting in a lot of hard work there, and hopefully things are starting to turn the corner a little bit for the Spartans.
Yeah, it's as I said before, even though you got beat last week, you got 3 wins under your belt.
Yep.
There's a lot of positive things going on with Justin, his coaching staff, and the kids.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And again, that is our game of the week, 6:05. Friday Night Lights with Evan Bredesen, and then leading right up to that will be 7 o'clock kickoff at Romeoville as the Spartans host Joliet West. We will have Dan Tito on in about 7:45, so don't go anywhere for that. We're going to step aside in a minute here and take a break, and when we come back, we're going to go over some. Give us a listen. We're going to talk a little bit of IHSA record book. Talk about some of the rushing records that are out there. We covered some of the passing stuff with Jonas Williams watch, and then we're going to talk a little of the rushing stuff too. I know Evan's big on that, and I'm a big fan of going back and looking at those record books as well. So don't go anywhere. We're going to step aside and take a break. You are listening to the Week 5 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports.
This is State Farm Agent John Wright. The smell of football is in the air, and the countdown to lifting championship trophies has begun. My award-winning team and I know the championship feeling, having supported high school football and local community events for over 30 years. If you want to know what it's like to be insured by the right team that is second to none, call me, John Wright, at 815-725-5052. Like a good neighbor, the John Wright team will be there when you need us.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
You're on the list for Macy's Fall VIP Sale. That means you're invited to save big on this season's top designer looks at prices you'll love. Like an extra 30% off Calvin Klein, Steve Madden, Hugo Boss, and more. Plus, get 15% off beauty and fragrance from Estee Lauder, Lancome, and so many others. This only happens a few times a year. Don't miss the Fall VIP Sale. Today, only at Macy's. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
You hear that? That's Mike, sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. That's because Mike was smart this time. He took ZQL Ultra to fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and get the deeply restorative sleep he needs. So now he wakes up refreshed and ready to conquer Mondays.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Ultra. Not for colds, just for sleep. Really great sleep. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Your official home for Joliet and Will County sports is 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back. It is the Week 5 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. EDGYTIM along with the coach, Joe Rodegaro and Evan Bredesen spinning the dials. And again, guys, appreciate our State Farm agent, Drew Mormon in Lamont, and John Wright in Joliet. Like a good neighbor, Joe.
State Farm is there.
I'd like to thank them for their continued sponsorship of Pigskin Preview. And
wear my State Farm shirt tonight?
Yes, you are. Very good, Joe. Tomorrow night, 6:05, Friday Night Lights, the kickoff show, followed by 7 o'clock kickoff, Romeoville hosting Joliet West, and obviously we will have all kinds of updates and score updates throughout the evening, so just check in right here at 1340 WJOL, and we'll have you covered.
Yes.
Looking forward to that. Looking forward to another big broadcast tomorrow night, so it should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it, and hope you're following along and listening online. By the way, if you enjoy the broadcast, always make sure, you let your sponsors know. Obviously, we appreciate their sponsorship. And the best thing you can do is support them. There might be one sponsor around here that I might stop in tomorrow and get a little lunch just because they're a good sponsor. And the crew here on Friday nights talks up their food quite a bit.
We'll be eating well, courtesy of that good friend on Friday night.
You could say who.
Jody Chicago Style Hot Dogs, the sponsor of Friday Night Lights.
And it's good, too.
I think I got a smash burger in my immediate future.
Those are good.
Yeah, I got a taste.
They know what they're doing with those smash burgers.
They sure do.
No doubt. So again, we've got a little bit of a break here. So 815-254-7300. Take your call. Evan, last week we were diving into the passing records, obviously tied in with Jonas Williams from Lincoln Way East, who's on the verge of setting a handful of IHSA all-time career records. So Evan said, you know what? Let's take a look at the rushing side. So Evan, take it away.
Yeah, Joe. Last week you mentioned that you wanted to kind of take a look at some of the rushing stats. So we thought we'd take a look. Do you know who the leading rusher in Illinois high school football history is?
Billy Merrick?
No.
It's James Robinson from Rockford Lutheran.
He had a huge
2012 to 2015. He had 1888 as a freshman, 2469 as a sophomore, 2227 as a junior, and 2361 as a senior.
Had a pretty good career. Had a pretty good career at Illinois State, and I think he might still be in the league. He was in the league for a little while.
Wow. We will look that up.
Yeah.
We will look that up. Actually, looking at the stats, it's surprising. Most of the career marks are surprisingly fairly recent. I thought we'd have a lot of like 1980s or early 90s.
Well,
no, for the most part, it's almost all post-2000.
You got to remember, you get out of Chicagoland proper, you still have a lot of run-heavy teams, a lot of double wing, a lot of wishbone. There's a lot of
triple
option, heavy emphasis on option, and so that aspect of it not overly surprising. But yeah, it is. There's no doubt compared to 15, 20, 30 years ago, for sure. You would think. So what else you have? Who's the first couple?
So the first couple, James Robinson, Jarcadia White of St. Teresa.
St. Teresa ended up playing. Last time I saw, he was at Kansas State, I believe.
Okay.
Caleb Pratt of Westville is in third place with 8,477 yards.
Westville's down there by Danville.
Yeah.
And then there's only a couple guys over 7,000 yards. Henry Dieters of Tolono Unity. And then Russell Harvey of Dunbar from the
Illinois.
From the mid to late 90s.
Played at Illinois, had a pretty good career in Illinois.
Now here's a fun list: the most rushing yards in a season. In the top 18, we had 3 different local players. Ty Isaac is not on the list.
No kidding.
Are you kidding me?
For rushing yards in a season, no.
Anderson from Wilmington.
No.
Anderson?
No. Let's think here.
The highest ranked guy, do it all down south. He did it all in Grundy County.
Durgo?
John Durgo, 3,010 yards. He's number 8. We've got number 16 with 2,745 yards, and then 18 with 2,690 yards. Both local guys, one from each of our local Catholic schools.
Louis Medina?
Yes. Very good, 1996.
Well, if it isn't Ty Isaac,
Mike Allstott? Oh, Benson.
Allstott?
James Randall.
Oh, that's right.
Number 96. They had to switch from the double wing to the I formation and ended up leading on enemy. Had 344 carries that year.
Nice. Yes.
So that's the rushing yards in a season. Rushing yards in a game. Here's another good one. In the top 10, 3 local guys are on this list for rushing yards in a game. Ty Isaac,
just keep saying Ty Isaac.
Ty Isaac, number 4 against Montini in the state title game in 2011. 515 yards in that game off of 26 attempts.
I'm sorry, Evan, how many yards?
515 off of 26 attempts.
That was like Tecmo Bowl, as I always say.
I wish Dewey was here with his calculator. He could do the math on that for us, Joe. So who else? There's two others?
There's two others local. One's number 8, 456 yards. A bit older, 1999, from Lockport.
Craig Dupont?
Yep, against Thornwood. He had 456 yards. And then in 2010, this guy had 520 yards and 7 touchdowns against Oswego.
Russ Weil? No.
Capri Bibbs.
Oh, Capri Bibbs, yes.
By the way, number 1 all-time is DeAndre Hooper of Chicago Austin against Chicago Near North in 1996. He had 593 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Getting it done. Capri Bibbs.
Number 2 all-time, by the way, is Gino Hess from Peoria versus Normal Community in 2016. He had 63 carries for 567 yards and 8 touchdowns.
Gino Hess
He drove the bus, too.
Gino Hess had a monster career. I want to say it was Missouri State, and I think he was in the league for a little while. So,
but I remember Capri Bibbs though. He was a good
Colorado State for a year and went right NFL and ended up was in the NFL for about 4 or 5 years.
Yes.
I think this might be the first year he hasn't been in the league.
Then we have rushing touchdowns. So we have touchdowns for a career. James Robinson, Rockford Lutheran in first. Arcadia White of St. Teresa in second. There's actually only 5 guys over 100 rushing touchdowns. The other 3 are Caleb Pratt. Number 4, Samson Evans of Prairie Ridge.
Yep.
And then number 5, Russell Harvey of Dunbar. He had 100 touchdowns as well.
Samson Evans, very good career at Eastern Michigan as a running back. A lot of people didn't think he played running back, but he ended up playing running back.
He was a good runner,
nice career.
2 local guys in the top 14 for rushing touchdowns in a season. Can you name the 2 players?
Ty Isaac.
Yes, 42 in 2011.
Durgo?
51 in 2005. He is actually 3rd all-time. First, it's a tie between Tyler Vassey of Prairie Ridge and Mackay Washington of Peoria. They both ran for 53 in the same season.
Wow. I barely remember Mackay Washington. I remember the name, but I don't think he ended up doing anything in college. So,
53 touchdowns.
And then most touchdowns in a game. There's 2 players on this list. 1 player is on this list twice.
I'm sorry, what is it? What game?
Most touchdowns in a game.
Okay.
There's 1 player on this list twice with 8.
Ty Isaac.
Nope. We did mention this guy, though. He went to Lockport.
Craig Dupont.
Yep. Against Elgin in 98 and against Thornwood in 99, he had 8. The all-time leader, though, Leonard Butler of Morris against Streeter. He had 10 touchdowns in 1969.
Holy cow.
He's tied with John Zisner of Peoria, who had 10 touchdowns against Clinton High back in 1920.
Where they weren't. Oh, they had. That's when they had
the oldest record I could find.
That's where they folded up their helmets and put it in their back pocket that year. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
Was that fun, Joe?
They all got back from the front, Joe, and then decided to play a game of high school football.
815-254-7300. That was cool.
Those are some video game-like numbers when you start looking at, some of that.
Yes.
I mean, I know, you've covered some running backs not on that list, too. If I asked you to rattle off some of the special running backs you've seen, you could.
It is a position kind of dwindling, though.
Is it?
Kind of. Dwindling as far as teams focusing more run. I mean, we talked about, but it seems like, at least from a talent standpoint, we haven't had a ton of running backs come out of here in the last half dozen years, probably. Yes? No?
No, I agree with you. I think it's a position, just based on from what I can see, if you're an offensive player, if you can play receiver, you're more inclined to try receiver because you could have a longer career.
Catch the ball, you give more touches.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Or you got to be a back, be able to run a pattern and catch a pass.
Yeah, you have to be able. Yeah, the days of being a straight deep back and that's what you're going to do, run between the tackles. Those guys don't exist, Joe. I mean, you know that. You're in the gun now more than half the time anyway. You got to learn how to, run those lateral routes and screen passes and pass protection. And I mean, that's the position nowadays.
Yes, for sure.
815-254-7300. We're here if you want to call. We'll take your call. Joe,
Sure.
Evan, let's keep going down the list of area games. Here's an interesting one. Oswego East 4-0 at Bolingbrook, 2-2.
You know,
which Bolingbrook team shows up?
Yeah, I'm picking Oswego East. They're on the, after a couple seasons where they haven't done too well, they're kind of back a little bit this year.
I've heard they're fast this year.
Yeah. Yes, I've heard that as well. Joe, Minooka hosting Plainfield North. I don't have good vibes right now. I hate to be Debbie Downer on my hometown team, but
I think Plainfield North is on the rise here. Whether they make the playoffs or not, I don't know. But
where's the Minooka offense?
That's the biggest question.
Yep.
The defense is there.
I mean, they were scoring 14 points a game with Zach Caves.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's my concern. The defense been keeping them in games. Obviously, pitched a shutout last week against Joliet West.
But you're going to have the same size guys with Plainfield North, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I know their offensive and defensive lines in Minooka are big, but you're going to have the same thing on the other side of the ball for Plainfield North.
Guys, this is not your dad's Naperville Central team. They host Lincoln Way East.
0-4 for the Red Hawks.
Oh, 1-3.
Or 1-3. I'm sorry.
1-3.
1-3. I mean, it's very bizarre to see them not. I mean, usually they're one of the better teams, you know, at least in the DuPage area. But that, as we talked about before the show, that whole kind of DuPage Valley, old DVC area, it is not good. Like Naperville North is the best team, and they're going to go 6-3.
Yeah. Now, my question to you is, since they're obviously going to be looking for a new conference to call home next year, does that make them more attractive or less attractive as a merger acquisition? I think more attractive.
So do I.
Probably.
Yeah. So now where they wind up, no one knows. I haven't heard a word. So, and that's from pretty good people. So they're still trying to figure things out.
You know, it is kind of interesting. You haven't heard anything about
it. Not a word. Guys, Lockport 1-3 on the road at Naperville North. Joe, if you look at their schedule, Lockport. This now obviously at Sandburg week 7. Is probably their toughest remaining game.
Yes.
Could Lockport run the table?
They very well could.
But this will be a good game against North. North isn't great this year. Offensively, they're struggling, which I kind of knew after seeing them in the summer. Jacob Bell's nowhere to be found this year. So Sean, I think, is doing a really good job just trying to piece things together and and find a way to win games. It's a possibility, Joe.
Yes.
They could.
I agree.
Lockport right now is the type of team, though, Coach, I know since you saw them and we talked about it, they cannot fall behind.
No.
If they fall behind and have to throw, that's when they get in trouble, is when they're one-dimensional in the passing game. Right. They need the ability to run the ball and work off the play action. And if they can get a lead, even if it's just a 10-point lead on this North team with that defense and the way George wants to run that offense, they'll just grind that clock out and they'll win 10-0 and go home happy.
Yeah, the running game is really good at Lockport. It really is.
Lincoln Way West on the road, 4-0 at Waubonsie Valley, 0-4. Evan, that one surprised me a little bit. I know Waubonsie struggled from time to time. I didn't think they were an 0-4 team this year.
No, I mean, and they've been a program, especially I want to say like the last 10 years. It's been very kind of roller coastery,
yeah, it has.
But not 0-4 roller coastery.
Ever since Paul Murphy retired.
Yeah, they have not been. They have not been the same. They have not had that stability within the program.
Ironically, Paul Murphy, OC at Plainfield North, working with Anthony and Berdino. So, Lincoln Way Central 3-1, looking to bounce back on the road at DeKalb.
That makes sense now because Plainfield North plays offense like Waubonsie.
There you go.
Now it kind of clicks.
Lincoln Way Central, obviously, Joe, looking to bounce back. DeKalb could be tricky a little bit.
Well, that's a long bus ride, too.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Wow.
So.
But you said that area is down this year.
It is. It definitely is. It's strange. It's a weird year. And then Saturday, Joe?
Yes.
University of St. Francis 1-2 playing one of your girlfriends on Saturday. Madonna University.
Oh, we're going to see.
Please tell me she's involved somehow. Please.
She teaches the Kabbalah class.
Somehow. Logo, something. There's got to be. Versus Madonna University. In Michigan, I believe.
Yes.
Well, she's from Michigan. No, seriously, she's from Detroit, Michigan.
Is she really?
She is.
I didn't know that.
Saturday, 1 o'clock kickoff. Go Fighting Saints.
Yes.
No doubt. Well, since AP didn't have any rankings this week because, well, the guy went on vacation.
What does it say about your rankings when the one guy goes on vacation?
I can't believe there's only one guy that does this.
One guy. Well, there's others that vote, but there's one guy that puts all this stuff together.
You mean to tell me somebody else didn't have a calculator or something to do this?
I'm able to generate this garbage out every week.
An abacus?
Abacus. Dewey's calculator. Again, got a couple minutes here. 815-254-7300. I'll go through my Week 5 top 10 8A. Mount Carmel, Lincoln Way East, Loyola, Maine South, Glenbard West, Warren, Friend, Oswego, Barrington, York.
Can I make an observation about that top 10?
Sure.
The top 5 seems like they have very good offenses, and the bottom 5 seem like they have, not bottom 5, but the 6 through 10 seem like they're more defensive-oriented teams.
Pretty fair.
Which could make for a really interesting playoff.
Pretty fair.
Yeah, I agree.
York scares me a little bit just because they really haven't played anyone yet. And the one team they did play, they lost. So a little bit of it scared me a little bit there. But they're generally pretty good. It is a good year in the West Suburban Silver. That I can attest to. I've seen 4 teams now. All 4 teams very solid.
They're going to beat one another up.
Well, that's what's going on now.
Yeah, that's kind of that. But get it out of the way now rather than later in the year as much as you can.
7A, Brother Rice, I have number 1. Downers North at 2. Batavia, St. Charles North. I'm seeing that game tomorrow night at St. Charles North. Prospect at 5. St. Rita at 6. I don't know why I have Rita still in, but I do. Strength of schedule. Those 3 losses are 3 really good teams. Lincoln Way West at 7. Bradley at 8. Carmel at 9. Moline at 10. Anything surprise you there at all or no?
Who's going to score on Brother Rice?
Yeah, I was just going to say, who's good?
Probably Mount Carmel to a point. It's going to be interesting. That game's next week.
But if you can get 4 in the backfield against that Carmel offense, that's a gun 4 wide. They don't max protect a lot. They'll keep the running back in, but that's just to chip and then go out into the flat. If they're able to only bring 4 and they can keep 7 out and play, including their nickel corner, that's going to cause a whole lot of scheme issues for Jordan Lynch and company.
Joe, you know this. When you have a D-line like that at the high school level, it's almost unfair.
Exactly.
They don't have to blitz.
No.
They can just have their guys sit back and disguise their coverages and then throw a whole bunch of weird, exotic looks that you don't have to worry about open space on.
Yep. 6A, East St. Louis at 1. I mean, they're going to stay there the rest of the year. They're not going to get challenged by anyone. Naz at 2, Glenwood at 3, Fenwick 4, Washington, Illinois at 5, Burlington Central 6, Dunlap 7, Quincy 8, Lake Zurich 9, Creek 10, yada, 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 yada. It's all East St. Louis.
East St. Louis and everyone else.
Yep. 5A, my top 10, St. Francis at 1, Prairie Ridge at 2, Providence at 3, Morgan Park at 4, Kankakee 5, Bloomington 6, Canelan 7, Belvedere North. We used to call him Mr. Belvedere. Mr. Belvedere North at 8.
It was such a great show.
Peoria at 9.
Bob Euchre was great.
Oak Forest at 10. How about that, Joe?
Yeah,
Oak Forest
undefeated, yes.
Having a nice season over there. It's good to see.
Yeah, it's week 9 for Lamont and Willie.
Yep. 4A, I'll give you my 4A since we have a minute here. Montini, Rochester, who just lost in overtime to Glenwood last week.
I saw that.
Mount Zion at 3, Morris at 4, Dixon at 5, Sacred Heart 6, Metamora 7, Coal City at 8, Highland at 9, Carterville at 10. And I did not take the week off.
My question in 4A, the 2 at the top can score.
Yes, 100%.
The question is there anyone else in that top 10 who can keep pace with them?
Very true.
If Moore stays 4A, I know we got to wait to see where it shakes out, north or south.
Most likely south. I wouldn't think anything else.
There's going to be some big games in that bracket.
We will have Mr. Susi next week. So
there's going to be some big games in that southern bracket.
All you JCA fans, you can call up and ask us all the 4-win questions you want. We'll be here with the Sus next week. Stepping aside, we come back. Dan Tito, head coach at Joliet West, will join us. You are listening to Week 5 edition of Pigskin Preview here at 1340 WJOL, County's News, Talk Sports.
Tonight, shut off the video games, turn off the smartphones, and unplug the tablet. What? Hey! Because tonight, you're going to take the family bowling.
I didn't know I could have this much fun without plugging something in.
Echo Lanes and Crossfire Laser Tag in Morris is committed to providing family-friendly fun at affordable prices. Every Tuesday it's Quarter Mania. Bowling, shoes, and pop are just $1 each. Fries at 50 cents and hot dogs are just $1 after your $7.50 cover charge. Every Thursday, Laser Tag is $5 per session, and bowling is 2 games for $6. Come back on Sunday and bowl for just $6.50 per game. Echo Lanes and Crossfire Laser Tag at the junction of Routes 47 and Route 6 in Morris. Open every Monday at 4 p.m. and Tuesday through Sunday at noon. Schedule a birthday party or workouting now. Dates are filling up fast. Birthday party packages are available online at echobowlinglanes.com. Stop in and book today or call 815-942-2640 for more information. echobowlinglanes.com.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Mom, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotion. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. Consequently, they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Dial pound 250 and say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer lets you easily compare direct rates from different insurance companies, so you can be confident you're getting the right one, even if it's not with Progressive. Way more confident than you were when you tried online gaming. Who knew 12-year-old boys could be so mean? And where did they learn to swear like that? 2 hours of losing to these underage trash talkers, and you're starting to question if maybe you really should stick to pickleball and other boomer stuff. So use Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer and be confident you're getting insurance that's right for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
When you call or text 988, you're not talking to a machine. You're talking to someone like me. I'm here to listen to you and hear your story. You don't have to have all the words or know exactly what to say. I'll meet you where you are. Whether you're feeling hopeless, overwhelmed, or just need someone to talk to, we're here 24/7 because your life matters. Call or text 988. Let's find hope together.
High school football on 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back. It is the Week 5 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL. Will County's News Talk Sports. EDGYTIM along with the coach Joe Rodegaro and Evan Bredesen. This edition and every edition of Pigskin Preview brought to you by our State Farm agents Drew Mormon in Lamont and John Wright in Joliet. Like a good neighbor, Joe.
State Farm is there.
Game of the week, 6:05 pregame show with Evan, followed by a 7 o'clock kickoff at. Where are we at? We're at Joliet. We're at Romeoville. Joliet West. I'm sorry, at Romeoville. 7 o'clock kickoff. Dan Tito's like, hey, wait a minute.
We changed the game.
They moved the game on us.
That's fine. We'll take a home game.
Yeah, I bet you will.
I'm trying for you, Coach. I'm trying.
You will.
Welcome aboard, Dan Tito. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me on.
Glad to have you on board. I know that, obviously not the greatest start, but, obviously you've got some younger kids, and I know you've been playing the rotating quarterback game a little bit, but, hopefully you got things squared off, and here you go, conference time.
Yeah, I mean, we started off obviously after East. They're undefeated right now, and we were very inexperienced. We had 23 kids making their first ever varsity minutes, and what I've told the kids is that I'm in it for growth, and we've shown growth every single game. We played Yorkville a little bit better, got a victory against Plainfield South, and I was very proud about how our kids played against Minooka last Friday.
Dan, I noticed, and thank you for the stats and everything. I appreciate it, as I do all the coaches in our area. And it's, as Ezzy mentioned, is there a rhyme or a reason or a mad scientist reason for the 2 quarterbacks for kind of rotation? Or is it because one guy might run better than the other one?
Do you mean Landon and Liam?
Yeah, Landon and Liam, yeah.
Unfortunately, Landon has suffered a season-ending injury. He suffered it during Plainfield South. Really in the first, I think it was the second drive of the game. He suffered that injury. We brought Liam in. Actually, first we brought Sean Hogan, who was a senior.
Right.
Played tight end for us, threw a touchdown, and then Liam Nictula, he's a sophomore. He came in, we felt it was time to give the sophomore a shot. He came in, he tossed 2 touchdowns. Landon tossed a touchdown too, so I think that's the first time that I can remember, my 15 years at West, seeing 3 different quarterbacks throw a touchdown in the game. But
I saw that in the stats. I'm going, holy cow.
Yeah, and then Liam started the game for us against Minooka, when we're, his first ever start as a sophomore. Obviously, Minooka's got a great defense, and they do a lot of great things over there. And we're proud about how he came out, and, he had confidence in him, he had swagger, he had poise, he got the locker room behind him. The kids are drawn to him, and, we're proud about how he played against Minooka, and we're excited to see him going forward.
Good.
Dan, I got to imagine you mentioned the defense and going against Minooka. Is it just a group maturing? Is that part of this? And obviously, you put an effort like that against Minooka, you got to feel good going in the rest of the year defensively.
Yeah, I think you nailed it right there. Just a group maturing. Just kids. And we're, like I said, we're kind of young and experienced in defense too. We had a couple of injuries at the beginning of the year, but I think we're kind of more together now. And I think the kids are just understanding and buying in what we're doing on defense. They're very close to each other, and I think we're seeing, like I said, growth as we go week by week.
And talk about I saw. Is it Greg Lee is kind of maybe your leading rusher? Talk about him a little bit.
Oh, Greg is. I had Greg Lee when he was a freshman in our world history class. He's a sweetheart. He's such a nice kid, but when he's got the rock in his hands, he's quite physical. Very strong kid. Just freaking strong for his size, and also pretty fast. Downhill runner. Likes contact. Likes to block. And we feel that once we get him going, it's very good for us. And he's behind a ever improving offensive line. I've been very proud about how our offensive line has come out. We're starting 3 juniors, and we have a good future on that O line too.
Talk about your opponent tomorrow night, and Justin's another one that we've talked to for a handful of years, and you can just see some growth as well going on with his program, and they're really starting to come around a little bit. And again, it's great to see a program like Romeo, and you can relate, Dan, that put in the work, and it seems like they're finally starting to see a little bit of that payoff. And you get that kind of feel from them as well?
Oh, absolutely. And Travato, I know you had Travato on earlier. Travato's a phenomenal guy. He's a great coach. Last year I felt they were very close to making the playoffs. Obviously, this year they're 3-1. They got some good weapons on the offense. That quarterback is, I think, a 3 or 4 year starter. He's the reigning conference offensive player of the year. They got some good. They got a good target in the slot, number 2. They got a good target on the outside, number 11. They got a safety that comes down and throws pretty good. And again, Coach Travato, he's a stand-up guy. He works really hard for that program, and I admire what he's doing over there. Like you said, it's something that we can relate with. I feel we have a similar kid that enters our building, and obviously looking to grow programs. I think he's doing a great job.
Give us an update on the underclass. How are the numbers? How are things going at the lower levels?
Our freshman and sophomore classes. Our sophomore class is probably about 50-ish strong. Our freshmen are about 40s, 50 strong. So,
great numbers.
And yeah, good numbers. We're very fortunate. The kids are excited to come play for us. What we enjoy is kind of the challenge of development. We get a lot of numbers, but probably about 3/4 of our kids freshman year have never played football before. Yeah. So for us, it's developing them, and obviously getting to watch them grow. And we've had some great players in the past that never played football before their freshman year end up playing the next level. Peyton Turner last year, he never played football before his freshman year. He was one of our best receivers. Matt Marciniak from a couple of years ago. never played football before. He started linebacker for us for 2 years. So it's always great when you get those kids who just, they're interested in trying it their freshman year, and, they end up really loving it.
I had this conversation last night doing a podcast, and we were talking about where the state of the sport is right now. And we talked about, you've seen growth at the youth level. You've seen, the medical issues that were involved have seemed to go to the wayside a little bit. I think we've made progress as a sport with, better health, concussion, better equipment. And now, Coach, you look at girls flag football, bringing more fans to the sport.
Mm-hmm.
You look at all these developments that have gone on. Just walking in the park in the fall with my dog, a year ago, these were all soccer kids. Now, half of them are flag football. So that's awesome. The other part of this, and we talked about it, I'm sure that you can obviously relate to this, is what you just mentioned. It's still one of the very few sports in IHSA level that you can walk in the building as a freshman and they're going to take you and they're going to teach you.
Right.
That doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen in other sports. It's all travel now.
Yeah, I think that's the one, I don't know, advantage is the word, but, 100%. Football, if you come in and you're a great athlete, we can find a place for you. Yeah. You don't need, if you don't have to know how to catch a ball. You can find a way to impact the football team by just being a great athlete and walking into the building. And we have a player right now, Amir Shannon, who is one of our best basketball players. Wanting to give football a shot. He's been having a great time with it. But he's just a natural athlete, and that he's got a 46-inch vertical. He can jump out of the gym. He's super fast, and just having guys like that, and excited to come play. Excited to come out and play with us, and I think that's like in baseball, if you're not swinging the bat from a young age, or basketball, if you're not shooting shots at a young age, you get left behind. But in football, you can step on the field and make an impact.
That's why it's important to have, and I know you give kudos to your guys, good freshman coaches, because they're the ones.
Absolutely.
To me, they're the most important people. They're the most important people in your program.
They're the window to your program.
Yes,
they are. I was a freshman coach for over 10 years.
Right. I remember.
Took pride in what we did and welcoming kids to our program and developing them and getting them excited to stay. So absolutely.
All right. Well, the wife is still wearing Joliet West gear. Can't get her out of it these days.
There we go.
It's a constant reminder that she's a Joliet West Tiger, and I better pay attention to you, Dan Tito. So always good to talk to you, my friend. Wish you the best of luck, and I'm sure we're going to have you on a little bit later in the year. So go get one tomorrow, okay?
All right. So thank you guys so much for having me on. I hope you guys have a good rest of your night.
All right. So I'll see you tomorrow night, Dan. Good luck.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Dan Tito joining us from Joliet West. And yeah, guys, I had this conversation with Kenny Leonard last night. I think the sport's in a pretty good place right now. I really do.
Yep.
We're making progress. And again, medical stuff, the concussion gate and what have you. Hey, that was some pretty serious stuff. We were losing quite a few kids there for a while, and it seems to have subsided. It seems to kind of have settled down, and you're seeing more of those COVID parents kicking the kids out of the house. Get out of the house. Go do something.
I was talking to Jeff Reitz, and this is maybe something too, and I'll be real quick because I know we're running up against the clock.
Evan's got nothing better to do.
We were asking him about the shield on top of the helmet, the cushion. He says, yeah, that helps out.
Yeah.
And I saw a commercial this weekend. I don't know if I was watching the pro game or a college game, but it showed Rydell how they go in and put these guys, and Jeff told me, Joe, we do the same thing. So even at the high school level, they take their phone, the kid has to sit real still, and the helmet is fitted to that kid. It's not like, okay, kid, take this.
It's getting better.
Yes, it
definitely
is.
Has gotten better. The technology has definitely helped improve things, and that's a positive. And like I said, and I hate going back to this, but you got to give credit where credit is due. A part of this, you have to give credit to Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Seriously. You look at the growth in girls flag football, you look at the growth in the audience watching football. What is it? it's young teenage girls that are Taylor Swift fans.
Yep.
It's a big part of it.
Yeah, I think with two things quickly, with the safety thing and concussions and things of that nature, I think a big part of what happened too is there were people who legitimately wanted to make the game safer, and then, let's just be honest, there were charlatans out there who were hijacking the narrative and fear-mongering because it became a very profitable gig to scare parents into kids not playing football.
100%.
It got you on the talk shows after every time an NFL athlete got a concussion, and there were some very bad actors in that space, and luckily those people aren't really being listened to much anymore.
Good.
So I think that's a positive on that front for sure, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt about that. And then you're seeing college coaches recognize the value of girls flag football for growth of the sport. You've seen down in Florida, Mario Cristobal in Miami has been pushing for it in the Miami area. I know Steve Sarkisian has talked about it, pushing for it in Texas. Matt Rule in Nebraska, he wants the sport sanctioned.
And the key is the NFL is getting behind it.
Yes.
And they are putting their monny behind it.
They're getting resources.
And that's why you're seeing such a quick development with this, is because the resources are there.
Yep, I agree.
It's been interesting. No question. I think that's going to about do it. We're about to wrap up. So again, game of the week tomorrow night, Joliet West at Romeoville, 7 o'clock. Check in. We'll have all kinds of scores, all kinds of updates from all over the area. It's the only place to be tomorrow night, right here at 1340 WJOL. For Evan Bredesen, for Joe Rodriguero, for myself, EDGYTIM. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you listening. Appreciate you watching. We'll be back next week. This has been the Week 5 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL. Will County's News. Talk sports. Good night, everyone. Good night.
Fall is here, and while the leaves are dropping,